What is up, guys? Today we're going to be reacting to OG clips from Fortnite Season 1 and 2. This is a bunch of my old clips from back in the day when Fortnite was brand new. I know a lot of you may have played back then, but I also know a lot of you started playing the game recently when Zero Build was added. So this might be like the first time you've ever seen like old Fortnite. And I have many clips from like every Fortnite season and hours of footage. So if you guys would like to see more videos like this one, let me know in the comments down below. And also comment and let me know when you started playing Fortnite. If you guys do enjoy this video, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you would like to see more. And thanks for watching. And so the first thing that we start off with has to be the OG lobby. Look at how simple this is compared to how it is now. There was no item shop or anything. The Scar hit for 93 to the head. You thought ARs were broken now? You don't even know how it was in Season 1. These ARs were so overpowered, but there was no first shot accuracy. So it was just like completely random whether or not you were hitting shots, and they all hit really hard. Look at how terrible my inventory was too. And on standard button layout, you could only swap one direction. Like you had to go all the way through your inventory to get back to the other weapons. But I just had everything in the wrong spots. So crazy looking back and seeing how just ridiculous ARs were. Like you would just get melted so fast. And there was like really uncommon that you would have shield and that other players would have shield, because at this time the only shield in the game was big pots. The little solo duo 1v2 coming up. And you'll see here my white pump, I think, hits for 212 on this guy down here. Look at this. Oof. 212 out of the white pump. And the range on pump shotguns was ridiculous. So, like, at the start of Fortnite, the balance was just really bad. And, like, pretty much everything was overpowered. Like I already said, the ARs were overpowered. The shotguns were overpowered. It was really uncommon for you to get shield. It's basically like playing like Fortnite on hardcore mode compared to how it is now. Like the slightest bit of a mistake could get you killed. But that's also kind of, I feel like, what made the game addicting and fun for a lot of people, is that anybody could kill anybody depending on the circumstance, you know? It didn't just matter like who was a better builder, who got better loot. Like it was pretty ridiculous how fast like everything in the game killed. And you had literal bots like that. There weren't AI in the game at the time, but a lot of people and everyone was new to the game all at the same time. So there was like so many noobs all of the time. When so many people think of OG Fortnite, they think of the noobs. You had a lot of in-games playing out like this though, where like you would just like kind of reinforce an existing house and just play off of that. If you guys didn't know, on console, OG Fortnite was 30 FPS. I don't think they added 60 FPS mode until Season 3. So aiming felt like really terrible. You'll see my aim is like garbage in a lot of these clips. And a lot of that has to do with like aiming on 30 FPS is just not good. We killed that guy with the electric trap, which you're actually going to see here. If you guys didn't play very early on in Fortnite, there was these traps called the electric traps. And you'd have to go through your menu and select whether you're putting on the floor, wall, or ceiling. And when you put it down, it would end up killing people. And it eventually got removed from the game, and they just made spike traps placeable on everything. And this is another thing that, you know, OG players always reminisce about, is how OP bushes are. But there's a ceiling trap right there. But bushes were so overpowered in Season 1. You're going to see these players just walk up to me pretty much, and I just jump out and ambush them. It's a great place to heal, but also just chilling in bushes was an easy way to get kills. And because the time to kill was so fast, like we were talking about before with everything being overpowered, you could just wipe a team just like that sitting in a bush. Like you're going to see my friend Maddie here. We've been playing since like before there were seasons in Fortnite. She's going to sit in this bush, and this team is going to walk up to her and not know what happened. Like people would always get caught off guard by bush campers, and pretty much all you needed to do to get a kill was catch somebody off guard because of how fast the TTK was, like we talked about several times already. But look at how fast this squad gets wiped. You would never see something like this in Fortnite today because the weapons just aren't very good. Like imagine trying to kill an entire team in one mag like that. Like you would just die because the weapons aren't strong enough. And here we have a little bit of builds. This is like a lot of what building was back then. You would just kind of make bases and then play off the angles of your base. And even though this guy's more HP than me, we just hit him 140 with a green tack. But even though this guy's more HP than me, since we have this little base, and it's like the tiniest base ever, right? Like today, you would just place one ramp and you're in there, or you could even just mantle in. But this one base was enough to get a kill. And like being able to do that, like set you layers above the competition. Here we got some RPG spam. This is like another one of those like really bad things about OG Fortnite that a lot of people kind of forget about. Rocket launchers were incredibly overpowered at the time. Since, I mean, they were just really overpowered in general, but because people weren't very good at building, like no one could really stop them. And there wasn't a cap on rockets. I don't know when they ended up adding that, but it was like very long into the game before they added a cap on rockets to like we have now with 12. And you would have players in game with an RPG and like 80 rockets just spamming them out, especially like later on in the game when more people got like a little bit better at building and could make bases. You would just make a base and rain down rockets. Once again, AR is hitting for over 80. This is how cringe building was. But like I said before, you look at my swapping. I can only swap one piece per time I hit Y. So it's like so hard to go through your build menu and do all this. And there was no turbo building, so you had to manually press the place button for every build. And that's one of the things that made building, like, it's so cringe to look back at now because of how fluid it is. And you have players not knowing how to build at all. This guy's hiding behind a tree, and once I destroy his tree, his game is over. Like I said, being able to make those tiny little bases would set you like head and shoulders above the competition. And that's part of what made OG Fortnite so fun, is that we were kind of all learning as time went on and all developing as time went on and really like establishing the meta that was Fortnite. This is a pretty good clip there. And this is another thing, like if you were able to like ramp rush people, you were just like gonna destroy everybody because people were not ready to play at that pace yet. And once again, the shotguns hit so hard. Here we have another clip of the Scar hitting hard. And I hope if they bring the Scar back, they bring back the OG noise, because the old like thud of the Scar sounded so satisfying. Here we're into season 2, so we finally have some skins on. We're going to be building a little bit better. The players that we're playing against probably have gotten a little bit better, but we're still not at the point where everybody is insane. And you'll see that coming up here. Like I kind of just stand in this guy's face and line up a shot on him. You still had like noobs populating every single lobby. But we get some defensive building here. This player like shoots at me, so I end up placing a few walls and ramps. And we're finally on Combat Pro, so we're able to swap in 2 directions now. And then when it comes to build pieces, Builder Pro doesn't exist yet, but we're going to be able to swap in multiple directions, which makes things a lot more seamless. And we have our inventory set up a little bit better than how it was before. My inventory was a mess for most of season 1. But as you saw, like I defensively built, this player defensively built, but we're still not at the point where building is like absurd. It still was a lot of like you put a few walls down, you put some ramps down, and then you have like a gunfight. The build fight meta didn't really come until later on. Mainly when like things like turbo building, Builder Pro came out, and then like the skill gap of the game increased at like exponentially when things like playground mode and creative mode came out, making it really easy for people to practice and get better. If you wanted to practice in like season 1 and season 2, you basically had to like queue snipe your friends, so y'all would like count down and queue up at the same time, and then try to get into the same lobby that way, so you could 1v1, and you would still have to like farm up and everything. But that is how people 1v1 back in the day. But once players were able to like seamlessly 1v1 with like playground mode and creative, like the average skill level of the game just increased so much. And this OG sniper is so satisfying. How much bullet drop it had, how much you had to lead your shots, it was like so much more difficult to use, but that's what made it more fun to use. And it made it less annoying when you got sniped, because you know, like, all right, this person probably did something good. And sniping was like a huge part of the game back then. A lot of people were just camping in bases, and you would camp in bases and just snipe at people. Me and this guy just trade rockets at each other. This is like a crazy fight for the time, I feel like. Like he's RPGing me, I'm like defensively building, trying to block his rockets. Still really cringe building, but this was like good for that time period, you know? He ends up dying. And then I think we have like a sniper fight with somebody here. Look at how different the storm is. I really miss that old storm. It wasn't that hard to see into or out of. I feel like you could tell where the storm was, but it wasn't like super crazy like how it is now. You know, we just hit like the prediction shot on him because I saw him peeking a little bit. Now we finally got the launch pad, and this is like one of the things that really elevated the pace of the game. That is one thing I feel like a lot of people forget about the really old seasons, like pre-season 1 and even season 1. There wasn't very much mobility in the game, if any at all, so the game played out really passively because of how fast the time to kill was. No one was good at building. There was pretty much no mobility. A lot of the game was like really passive and campy, like we saw in those bushes. But once we like got a little bit better at building and got things like the launch pad in the game, you could really like play a lot more aggressive and like just kill other players. Playing really aggressive in season 1 was pretty much always just going to be a death sentence eventually. Even though there was a lot of noobs, the time to kill was so fast that anybody could kill anybody. But now we're getting a little bit better at building. We got the ramp rushes. Still not onto the double shotgun meta yet, which came later on. This gives me anxiety to this day, bro. Maddie would always build up so high when she wanted to pad on people, and I was always like so stressed that we're gonna get shot out. Look, we're getting shot out there. And then she's just like, you know, chilling, placing the launch pad. But we pad into this team's base. A lot of people would still make bases, and like we said before. But you could pad into their base and just like kind of world star them. This is still like not as clean as it could be. You'll see I'm like kind of like lagging around here. Like the game did not run very well at all. I think we were still on 30 FPS at this point. But we end up getting that victory. Some more like super cringe building, but it's a little bit better. Here we're going to see one of those snipe shots like I was talking about. Look at that bullet like lead. Like I had to aim so high above him. And you just have so many people like camping in towers and game playing off snipes. That like really was the game back then. This guy tries to ramp me, but no match for the Scar. It's way too good. This clip is really cool. Me and Maddie snipe this guy at the same time. Like, I snipe him first, and then she snipes him like a brief second later. Like, we shoot at almost the same time. And he just gets deleted, and then we end up winning this game. Look at how much mats we had, bro. We were stacked. And look at those rockets. 50 rockets. I told you. So many people would just get hella rockets in-game. And then, you know, all you had to do was chill height and throw out rockets, and the game was going to be over. I feel like that's one thing that a lot of people forget about when it comes to OG Fortnite. See, I sniped him, and then she immediately sniped him too. That team synergy. And then we just easily scar that guy down. But that is going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, found it informative, helpful, whatever. If you guys want to see more like this, let me know. I have clips and hours upon hours of footage from like every Fortnite season. So if you want to see more videos like this one, let me know down in the comments below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.